Right now, almost every ashwagandha capsule, turmeric powder, and astragalus supplement sold in the United States comes from India or China. This is Jake, and I am talking about a $13 billion domestic market. American farmers are barely part of it. Meanwhile, conservation organizations are begging growers to start cultivating at-risk native roots like ginseng and goldenseal because the wild supply is disappearing. Herbal companies are literally running out of sources they feel comfortable buying from, and that has created an opening that almost no one is talking about. 20 healing roots that sell for $10, $50, even $500 a pound, many of which grow in ordinary backyard conditions or under existing shade trees. This is the list no one put together until now. Before I get into it, if you are someone who values traditional plant knowledge and wants to see more content like this, go ahead and tap that subscribe button. I put out new videos regularly on turning your gardening skills into real income. Now, let us get started. Number 20. Dandelion root. Yes, the same plant most people spend their weekends trying to kill. Dried dandelion root sells for $4 to $10 a pound wholesale and up to $28 a pound at retail. That may not sound like much compared to what is coming later on this list, but here is why dandelion belongs here. It is the fastest, low-risk entry point into medicinal root farming. You can direct seed it in the spring and harvest roots by fall. North Carolina State University documented yields of up to nearly 4,500 pounds of dried root per acre. That is potentially $20,000 or more per acre when you factor in leaf harvests alongside the root. And if you roast the roots for the growing coffee substitute market, your margins go up even further. It grows in zones 3 through 10, which covers almost the entire country. If you have never sold a medicinal plant in your life, dandelion is where you start. If this kind of practical, no-nonsense growing information is what you have been looking for, hit subscribe so you do not miss the rest of this list and future videos just like it. Number 19. Horseradish. Horseradish usually gets filed under condiments and forgotten about, but it has a serious medicinal side. The root has been used for centuries as a respiratory support herb and natural antimicrobial. Fresh horseradish root sells for $2 to $5 a pound wholesale and $4 to $8 retail at farmers markets. Dried medicinal grade root brings $12 to $22 a pound. Where horseradish really shines is in value-added products. Prepared horseradish sauces, fire cider vinegar blends, and herbal sinus formulas can multiply your raw root revenue 5 to 10 times. A single acre can produce 2,000 to 4,000 pounds of fresh root in one growing season. The plant thrives in zones 3 through 9 and is nearly impossible to kill once established. Collinsville, Illinois calls itself the horseradish capital of the world, and growers there have been profiting from this root for generations. Number 18. Comfrey root. Comfrey is one of the most biomass-productive herbs you can grow. The dried root sells for $15 to $28 per pound at retail, and major herbal companies like Mountain Rose Herbs specifically seek out United States-grown organic comfrey from farms in the Pacific Northwest. Internal use of comfrey is restricted in the United States due to certain alkaloids linked to liver concerns. All comfrey products must be labeled for external use only. That external market is strong. Salves, ointments, poultices, and topical healing balms made from comfrey root sell consistently well at farmers markets and through online herbal shops. The plant grows in zones 3 through 9, tolerates partial shade, and you can begin harvesting roots by year 2, while cutting leaves multiple times per season starting in year 1. Number 17. European Angelica. This is a root that serves 3 completely different markets, and that versatility is what makes it valuable. Angelica root is used in herbal medicine for digestive and respiratory support. It is used in cooking, where the stems are candied as a traditional confection. and it is used in the spirits industry as a flavoring agent in gin, absinthe, chartreuse, and vermouth. Dried Angelica root sells for $15 to $25 a pound in bulk, with small retail packages reaching well over $200 per pound. It grows in zones 4 through 9, tolerates partial shade, and prefers moist soil. As a biennial, you can harvest roots in year 1 or in year 2. One important caution. Angelica closely resembles poison hemlock in the wild. If you are foraging rather than cultivating, accurate identification is absolutely essential. Now, if you are keeping count, I have already covered 4 roots that can generate income within a single year. And I am just getting started. If you want to keep building your knowledge on profitable plants and practical homesteading, subscribe to the channel right now so these videos keep showing up in your feed. You will not regret it. Burdock is the single fastest path to revenue on this entire list. You direct seed it in spring and dig roots in the fall of the same year. Dried burdock root brings $8 to $14 a pound wholesale, while fresh burdock, called gobo in Japanese cuisine, sells for $3 to $8 a pound at Asian groceries and farmers markets. North Carolina State Extension documented yields ranging from about 650 to over 1,800 pounds of dried root per acre. The dual market advantage is what sets burdock apart. You can sell fresh roots to restaurants and specialty grocers, and dried roots to herbalists and supplement buyers, all from the same planting. It grows in zones 2 through 10 and tolerates partial shade. The main requirement is deep, loose soil so the taproots grow long and straight. Heavy clay will give you forked, unsaleable roots. Number 15. Marshmallow root. Not the candy. This is the actual plant Althea officinalis, used in herbal medicine for thousands of years. Marshmallow root is a staple ingredient in throat-soothing teas, digestive formulas, and lozenges. Dried root sells for $10 to $18 a pound wholesale and $18 to $35 retail. It grows in zones 3 through 9 and reaches harvestable size in about 2 years. Revenue of $12,000 to $18,000 per acre is achievable at wholesale pricing. The one challenge is processing. The roots contain high levels of mucilage, which makes them sticky and more labor-intensive to clean and dry compared to other roots on this list. But that same mucilage is exactly what makes the root so valuable medicinally. Competing with imported mature ginger at $1 a pound is not realistic for a United States small farmer. But baby ginger is a completely different story. These tender, pink-tinged rhizomes, harvested at 6 to 8 months, sell for $7 to $25 a pound at farmers markets and to restaurants. The key is growing in high tunnels or hoop houses unless you are in zones 8 through 12. Growers in Delaware, Virginia, and Maryland are successfully producing baby ginger in protected structures and commanding premium prices from chefs who want locally grown product. The startup investment in covered growing space is the barrier, but once that infrastructure is in place, baby ginger can be a reliable annual revenue source. Number 13. Wild yam. Wild yam root contains a compound called diosgenin that drives a substantial women's health product market. Dried root sells for $10 to $18 a pound wholesale and $18 to $30 retail. What makes wild yam particularly interesting for small landowners is that it is a shade-tolerant woodland vine. It grows beautifully in the understory of existing forest, trained on simple supports alongside other shade-loving medicinal crops. Revenue potential runs $5,000 to $12,000 per acre. Wild yam appears on the United Plant Savers to Watch list, which means cultivated sources are increasingly preferred by ethical buyers. Harvest comes in 2 to 4 years from rhizome division. Number 12. Elecampane. This might be the best-kept secret on the entire list. Elecampane is a tall, showy plant with golden flowers that produces a thick medicinal root used for respiratory support. Dried root sells for $10 to $15 a pound wholesale and $20 to $23 retail. Mountain Rose Herbs, one of the largest herbal suppliers in the country, sources Elecampane from 2 to 3-year-old cultivated plants. The root yields roughly 2 to 4 pounds of dried product per 100 square feet, which scales to somewhere around 800 to 1,700 pounds per acre. It requires virtually no maintenance, has no significant pest problems, and carries zero conservation concerns because it is a naturalized European species. It grows in zones 3 through 8 and tolerates partial shade at woodland edges. No other root on this list combines this speed of return, this ease of growing, and this price point so effectively. Number 11. Solomon's Seal. The rhizome of Solomon's Seal is gaining serious recognition in the joint and musculoskeletal health market. It also has strong demand from traditional Chinese medicine buyers, where it is known as yuju. Dried root sells for $20 to $35 a pound wholesale and $30 to $65 retail. U.S.-grown material commands a significant premium over Chinese imports. The real advantage of Solomon's Seal is biological. The spreading rhizome means your yields actually increase over time as colonies expand through the forest floor. It is an excellent companion alongside ginseng and goldenseal in polyculture forest farming systems. The plant thrives in partial to full shade in zones 3 through 9, and harvest begins in 3 to 5 years from division. Number 10. Turmeric. Nearly all turmeric powder consumed in the United States is imported. Organic turmeric grown in the United States commands $15 to $25 a pound wholesale, compared to barely over $1 a pound for conventional imports. In Hawaii and Florida, organic growers report revenue of $60,000 to $80,000 per acre. The climate requirement is the hard limit. Only zones 8 through 11 support outdoor production, though high tunnels can extend the range somewhat. The real money in domestic turmeric is in value-added products. Fresh root, turmeric paste, golden milk powder blends, and capsules all carry margins that raw wholesale simply cannot match. The American Turmeric Company in Georgia received a United States Department of Agriculture grant specifically to support domestic turmeric production, which indicates the federal government sees this as a viable crop. Number 9. Echinacea. Here is where the species distinction matters enormously. Echinacea, purpurea. Root sells for $2 to $12 a pound. Echinacea angustifolia root sells for $15 to $18 a pound, roughly 3 to 6 times more. One crop diversification report cited potential returns of up to $100,000 per acre for a well-managed angustifolia planting in its 3rd year. Purpurea is easier to grow, more adaptable, and produces combined root and foliage revenue around $23,000 per acre. Angustifolia is harder, slower, and far more valuable. Both need full sun and grow in zones 3 through 9. Caution for Echinacea growers. Prices have historically crashed when too many farmers plant at once. Never invest heavily in Echinacea production without a buyer relationship already in place. Number 8. Valerian root. If you want serious revenue without waiting years for a harvest, Valerian deserves a close look. The root is one of the most widely used natural sleep aids in the world. Dried valerian root sells for $14 to $25 per pound wholesale and $28 to $47 retail. European agricultural research rated valerian as the single most profitable medicinal herb they studied. You can harvest roots in just 1 to 2 growing seasons. Revenue projections of $14,000 to $40,000 per acre make this one of the strongest mid-range performers on the list. It grows in zones 4 through 9 and tolerates a range of conditions from full sun to partial shade. The harvest is labor-intensive, and the roots produce a famously strong smell during drying that cats find absolutely irresistible. Plan your drying setup accordingly. Number 7. Ashwagandha. This is the fastest growing adaptogen in the American supplement market, with combined United States sales hitting over $165 million in the past year alone. Growth is running nearly 14% annually. And here is the opportunity. Ashwagandha grows like a tomato, with the same season length and similar cultural needs. You plant in spring, and you harvest roots in 5 to 6 months. United States-grown organic ashwagandha sells wholesale for $10 to $20 per pound and retail for $15 to $30 per pound. Revenue of $15,000 to $30,000 per acre is realistic. The challenge is that India produces the vast majority of the world's supply at very low labor costs. United States growers compete through organic certification, local sourcing stories, and value-added products such as capsules and extracts, rather than trying to sell bulk commodity root. Number 6. Black Cohosh. This Appalachian native is the workhorse of the forest farming world. The root is widely used in women's health products, with over 300,000 pounds traded internationally each year. Somewhere between 95 and 99% of that supply is still wild harvested, which creates a massive premium for cultivated material. Organic cultivated black cohosh sells for roughly $44 a pound, compared to about $27 a pound for wild-crafted root. Herbal companies are actively looking for cultivated sources. Black cohosh tolerates a wide range of shade conditions, from about 30 to 85% canopy cover, which makes it the most adaptable of the major forest medicinals. Revenue runs around $20,000 per acre. It grows in zones 3 through 8, and you can expect harvestable roots in 3 to 5 years from rhizome division. Number 5. Pleurisy root. Known as butterfly weed, this native root commands some of the highest prices on the entire list. Dried pleurisy root sells for $40 to $60 a pound wholesale and $90 to $169 retail. Major herbal suppliers frequently list it as out of stock because wild populations have declined. It grows in zones 3 through 9 and needs full sun. Roots reach harvestable size in 2 to 3 years. But here is an important consideration. The same plant is wildly popular as an ornamental in pollinator gardens because monarch butterflies depend on it. Selling live nursery plants at $4 to $8 each may generate better overall returns than harvesting the root, and it does not kill the plant. That dual revenue stream, nursery plants plus selective root harvest, makes pleurisy root one of the more interesting business models on this list. Number 4. Oregon grape root. Oregon grape root contains berberine, the same antimicrobial compound that makes Goldenseal so expensive. But unlike Goldenseal, Oregon grape carries no conservation baggage. In fact, conservation groups actively recommend it as a Goldenseal substitute. As Goldenseal faces increasing harvest restrictions, Oregon grape is positioned to absorb that demand. Dried root sells for $12 to $20 a pound wholesale and $20 to $35 retail. It is a native understory shrub that thrives in forest farming systems across zones 5 through 9. Revenue potential is $8,000 to $15,000 per acre for mature plantings, with harvest in 3 to 5 years. The strategic value here goes beyond the per-pound price. You are growing into a market that is expanding specifically because a competing species is becoming harder to source. Number 3. Goldenseal. This forest-dwelling root is one of the most sought-after medicinal plants in North America, and supply has not kept up with demand for years. Penn State Extension has stated that demand probably exceeds current supply. Dried Goldenseal root sells for $30 to $40 a pound wholesale, with retail prices reaching $67 to over $270 per pound, depending on form and quality. Revenue potential ranges from $24,000 to $80,000 per acre. Goldenseal is a CITES listed species and appears on the United Plant Savers at-risk list, but cultivated Goldenseal carries no price penalty. Buyers actually prefer clean, cultivated material over wild-crafted root. The live rhizome market for planting stock, at $30 to $40 a pound wet weight, is often even more profitable than selling dried root. Goldenseal grows in dense shade in rich forest soil across zones 3 through 8, making it a perfect companion crop alongside ginseng. You can reach harvest in 3 to 5 years, which is significantly faster than ginseng. Number 2. Rhodiola rosea. This cold climate adaptogen may represent the single biggest opportunity in medicinal root farming right now. Dried rhodiola root recently hit $272 a pound at retail. Wholesale pricing runs $50 to $100 a pound. The Alberta Rhodiola rosea Growers Organization in Canada has over 150 growers, and Alaska Rhodiola operates with more than 20 farmers selling direct-to-consumer products. Government agricultural research in Alberta stated that income from one well-managed hectare of rhodiola equals the value of 250 hectares of canola. Revenue projections of $100,000 to $200,000 per acre over a 5-year cycle are documented in agricultural extension literature. Rhodiola needs cold winters and does not tolerate heat, which limits production to northern states, Alaska, and mountain regions. It grows in zones 1 through 7, requires full sun and well-drained soil, and takes 4 to 6 years to reach harvest. Germination is tricky, requiring at least 6 weeks of cold treatment, and weed management is the biggest ongoing challenge. But for growers in the right climate, the economics are extraordinary. Number 1. American ginseng, the undisputed king of medicinal roots in the United States. Wild simulated American ginseng, which means seed scattered in suitable forest and left largely undisturbed for nearly a decade, sells for $200 to $500 or more per dried pound. That price reflects roots that mimic the wild morphology prized by buyers in Asian markets. Penn State Extension documented net profits of over $4,300 per 1/10 of an acre over a 10-year growing cycle. Woods cultivated ginseng brings $100 to $300 a pound, and even field cultivated ginseng sells around $50. Revenue potential exceeds $43,000 per acre for wild simulated production. Wisconsin produces the vast majority of cultivated U.S. ginseng, while wild simulated growers operate across Appalachia and the Northeast. Ginseng is CITES listed and regulated by the U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service. You need state certification in 19 states. Harvest is restricted to September through November in most places, and roots generally must be at least 5 years old with 4 visible stem scars. Theft is a genuine concern because people call these roots green gold for a reason. The timeline is long, the regulations are real, but no other crop you can grow on American soil approaches this per pound return. If this video gave you some ideas worth exploring, do us a favor and subscribe to the channel. I cover profitable plants, smart homesteading strategies, and practical ways to turn your land into income every single week. Hit that subscribe button, and I will see you in the next one.